There's a fear nobody talks about. Not the fear of failure, not the fear of rejection, the fear of being average. Think about it. What's worse? Trying something bold and falling flat? Or spending your entire life wondering what you could have been? I'm motivated by the fear of being average. And I'm going to show you why this fear is the most underrated fuel for extraordinary achievement. Welcome back. Let's go. Average is a prison, and most people don't even realize they're locked in it. The average person wakes up, goes to work they tolerate, comes home, scrolls for 2 hours, sleeps 6, and repeats. They're not depressed, they're not struggling, they're just existing. And the terrifying part? There are 8 billion of them. Think about that number. You could spend your entire life doing everything right, getting good grades, landing a stable job, playing it safe, and still be completely invisible in a sea of 8 billion people doing the exact same thing. That should terrify you. Average means forgettable. Average means replaceable. Average means that 100 years from now, nobody will remember your name. Your family line will carry on, sure, but your specific existence will be completely forgotten. I'm not saying this to depress you. I'm saying this to wake you up. Because once you truly understand the horror of average, you can never unsee it. And that fear becomes your greatest motivator.
Most motivational content tells you to get rid of fear. Release your fear, embrace confidence, think positive. That's incomplete. Fear is information. Fear is energy. The right fear doesn't paralyze you, it propels you. Think about a person obsessed with their craft, a musician who practices 6 hours a day, an athlete who trains harder than anyone else, an entrepreneur grinding at 5 a.m. They're not motivated by positive affirmations. They're motivated by the fear that someone else will outwork them, that someone else will be better, that they'll look back in 10 years and regret what they didn't do. This fear is different from anxiety. Anxiety is paralyzing. This fear is clarifying. When you're motivated by the fear of being average, you don't need external motivation. You don't need a gym membership sales pitch or a self-help book. You need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this the best I can be? And the answer will scare you into action. People who achieve exceptional things aren't necessarily more talented. They're more afraid. They're more afraid of being nobody than of being judged for trying to be somebody. There's a psychological principle that separates the exceptional from the average. They've accepted that striving is permanent. The average person views hard work as temporary. They hustle for a bit, hit a goal, and then they rest. They think, now I can relax. But the exceptional person understands something different. Excellence is a direction, not a destination. They never arrive, they never stop. Because the moment they do, they know exactly what happens. They slide back toward average. And that fear keeps them moving. This isn't a blueprint for burnout. This isn't toxic hustle culture. This is understanding that being exceptional requires constant evolution, constant learning, constant pushing. And the only thing that will keep you doing that year after year, when it gets hard, when the motivation fades, when external rewards dry up, is the fear of sliding back into that prison of mediocrity. The people at the top of every field aren't there because they loved it more on day one. They're there because they loved the alternative less. Let me be specific about what average costs you. It costs you the respect of people you respect. The exceptional people in your life, they notice. They know the difference between someone giving their best and someone giving their minimum. They don't say it out loud, but they know. Average costs you relationships with extraordinary people. People operating at high levels don't spend time with people operating at low levels. It's not arrogance. It's vibrational alignment. You attract people at your level. Average costs you financial security. While you're playing it safe,
People with your same starting point are taking calculated risks and multiplying their opportunities. 15 years later, the gap is massive. Average costs you self-respect. This is the big one. Deep down, you know what you're capable of. When you don't pursue it, there's a part of you that loses respect for yourself. That gnawing feeling that you're settling. And worst of all, average costs you time. Your life is finite. Every day you spend being average is a day you're not being exceptional. Every year you wait is a year you can't get back. So the question becomes, how much is your exceptional potential worth to you? If it's worth everything, if you're truly terrified of wasting it, then average is impossible. It's not willpower, it's fear. Here's how you weaponize this fear. Here's the framework. Step 1. Identify your field. You can't be exceptional at everything. Pick one domain where you refuse to be average. For some people, it's their career. For others, it's their craft, their health, their relationships. Decide now, where do I refuse to be ordinary? Step 2. Define exceptional for your field. What does excellence actually look like? Not in a vague way, in a specific way. If it's your business, does exceptional mean 1 million in revenue, industry recognition, changing your customers' lives? Be clear, because clarity is what makes fear actionable. Step 3. Measure the gap. Where are you now versus where exceptional is? This is uncomfortable, but this gap is crucial. This gap is what creates urgency. This gap is what makes your fear concrete. The bigger the gap, the more potent the fuel. Step 4. Establish a commitment point. This is when you decide, not intellectually, viscerally. You look in the mirror and you say, I refuse to be average in this area. I refuse. It terrifies me more than any alternative. This isn't motivation. This is identity. Now it's not about trying. It's about being someone who doesn't tolerate mediocrity. Step 5. Build a system. Average people rely on motivation. Exceptional people build systems. What are the daily, non-negotiable actions that separate exceptional from average in your field? The musician practices. The athlete trains. The entrepreneur markets. The student studies deeply. Design the system, then execute it like your fear of average depends on it, because it does. Step 6. Constantly measure and evolve. The fear of being average doesn't stay sharp on its own. You have to remind yourself of the gap. Monthly reviews. Ask yourself, am I closing the gap or staying stagnant? This isn't about self-judgment. It's about self-awareness. Because the moment you stop measuring, you stop progressing. And the moment you stop progressing, average starts creeping back in. Here's what happens if you ignore this. In 5 years, you'll be exactly where you are now. Maybe slightly worse. And you'll tell yourself a story about why. Bad luck, bad timing, other people had advantages. In 10 years, the gap between you and the people who embrace the fear of average will be enormous. You'll see them living the life you could have had, influencing the people you could have influenced, making the money you could have made. And you'll feel that deep regret, that gnawing what if. In 20 years, you'll have accepted average. It'll feel normal, and that's when it's too late to change. I'm not saying this to scare you. Actually, I am. I'm saying this to scare you into action, because the fear of being average is the only thing standing between you and your potential. And that's not negative. That's liberating.
So here's my challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, sit with this fear. Don't run from it. Feel it. Let it clarify what you actually want. Then ask yourself, am I willing to do what it takes to avoid being average? If the answer is yes, then go. Not tomorrow, not Monday, now. Your exceptional self is waiting. and average is watching. Don't give it the satisfaction. See you at the top. Good luck.